Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of Mimi Dollars Collection. So stay with me, let's make this beautiful semi-circled clutch beaded bag. Please kindly like, share and subscribe. Materials used, we are using our sugar beads in 8 millimeters. Okay, and I'll introduce you to this solo tape, okay, which I wrap directly above my knuckle area. So I made a couple of bags last week and the fishing line injured me so bad. And then I found this hack. So I've helped other people with it and it's working for them. So it is called paper tape in our local market, but I do not know the actual name for it. So you get it, you wrap it around your knuckle area, above your knuckle area, and it's going to help you to pull the thread without stress. And for the gloves, I wear them to control sweat because I have extremely sweaty palms. And then we'll be using our scissors for cutting and our fishing line 0.7 millimeters for the sugar beads. So we are going to start with our 4 beads. In my fishing line, I'm going to add 4 beads. Pick up the last one and cross. Make sure the ends of your fishing lines are equal and then you pull it out. All right, we have our first ring done. You pick up 3 beads. You're going to add one on your right, one on your left, cross with the 3rd bead. So I'm adding one on my right, one on my left, and I'm going to cross with the 3rd bead and pull. So always make sure the ends of your fishing lines are equal so that you don't get to waste your fishing lines, okay? So as you can see, this is the 2nd ring and I can pull my thread with ease, okay? You won't get injured when you are using this solid tape, okay? So for the 3rd ring, we are going to pick 3 beads, one on the right, one on the left, and then cross with the last one. So I'm adding one on my right, I'll add one on my left, and then I'm going to cross with the last one added. I cross and I pull. So we have the 3rd ring done. As you can see, I can pull it very well, all right? So we are going to continue until we have 30 rings done. So I'm done with 30 rings, okay? And we are going to make the 31 ring, okay? So on one side of the fishing line, pick up your 3 beads, insert it into one side of your fishing line, and then we are going to cross it over and pull. So I'm using the loop method to cross, okay? You can use whatever method, the simple method to cross is okay. So we have a total of 31 lines. We are going to be working with this, okay? So on the back fishing line, I'm going to start with 3 beads. I'll pick up my 3 beads and add. Okay, I'm going to cross with the 3rd bead and pull. I'll cross with the 3rd bead and pull. So we have a first ring. Please watch it carefully. I'm going to go into the next 1 bead in front, into the next 1 bead in front. And on the back fishing line, I'm going to add my 2 beads. I'll cross with the 2nd bead, okay? So I'm just making sure that everything is well secured. Please make sure you always secure your work, okay? So I'll add my 2 beads and I'm going to cross with the 2nd bead and pull. I'll cross and pull. I'm going to go into the next, so we have 2 rings done, okay? I'm going with my front fishing line. I'm going to go into the next 2 beads. Into the next 2 beads, 1, 1, and 2. We are going into the next 2 beads, okay? Into the next 2 beads. Our fishing line will be in 3 beads now, all right? So we have our fishing lines in 3 beads, as you can see. So I'm going to pick up 3 beads. I'll add it to my back fishing line because we want to start making rings of 6, and we are going to be doing that 6 times. All right, so I'll cross it and pull. So right here we have a ring of 6, as you can see. Okay, we have a ring of 6. I'm going to go into the next 2 beads in front, into the next 2 beads in front, into the next 2 beads in front, and on the back fishing line I'm going to fix 3 beads. I'll fix my 3 beads and cross with the 3rd bead. So I'm crossing with the 3rd bead and I pull. So we have our second ring of 6 done, as you can see. So we are going to repeat this. We have 2 rings done. We are going to repeat this 4 more times, okay? 4 more times because we want to have 6 rings of 6. So you keep adding your 3 beads. So this is it. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So when you have 6 rings done, we are in the middle. I'm going to go into the next 1 bead, okay? Into the next 1 bead. And on the back fishing line, we'll add 2 beads, all right? So I'm crossing with the 2nd bead, all right? So I'm using the loop method. Just watch it carefully to see how I'm doing it, okay? So the loop method makes your work tighter, all right? So I've weaved 1 ring of 4. I'm going into the next 1 bead in front, into the next 1 bead in front, okay? On the back fishing line, I'm going to add my 2 beads and cross with the 2nd bead. I add 2 beads, cross with the 2nd bead and pull. I'm going to go into the next 1 bead in front, which is the last 1 bead in front. This one over here. This is the last time we are weaving a mat of 4 rings, okay? So I add 2 beads. I fix 2 beads and cross with the 2nd bead. So you'll be weaving this mat 3 times. As you can see, we have 3 rings of 4 in the middle. 3 rings of 4. So we are going to repeat this side on the other side as well. So I'm going to go into the next 2 beads, okay? I'm going into the next 2 beads. We are repeating this side, the first section on the other section, okay? And I'll add 3 beads to my back fishing line and then cross with the 3rd bead and pull. I cross with the 3rd bead and pull. So we are going to weave these rings of 6, okay, on this side as well. We are going to be weaving 5 more times with this one. The first one is to make 6 and then you leave out the last 2 beads, okay. So weave it 5 more times. So this is it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 and we are left with the last 2 beads, okay. So with the last 2 beads, we are weaving a mat of 4 rings, okay? Our simple beaded mat. So I'm going to go into the next 1 bead in front. Into the next 1 bead in front. I'll go into that bead. And on the back fishing line, I'll add my 2 beads, okay? 2 beads. Cross with the 2nd bead. I'll cross with the 2nd bead and pull. And I'm going to go into the last bead, into the last bead, into the last bead. With that same fishing line, I'll add my 2 last beads. two last beads. I'm going to cross with the second one added. So we are turning, and I cross and I pull, and we are done with the first line, as you can see. Okay, now moving on to the second line. I'm going to insert my fishing line into the first bead over here, into the first bead. And on my back fishing line, I'm going to add my 3 beads, okay? So we begin our mat with 3 beads. And I'll cross with the third bead. I cross and I pull. In my front fishing line, I'm going into the next 1 bead in front, into the next 1 bead. On the back fishing line, I'm going to add my 2 beads. I'll cross with the second bead, cross with the second bead and pull. Okay, so we have 2 rings done, 2 rings of 4. Right now, my front fishing line, I'll go into the next 2 beads in front. Into the next 2 beads in front. And on the back fishing line, I'm going to add my 2 beads. I'll cross with the second bead. Okay. I add 2 beads and I'm crossing with the second bead. And I pull. Please make sure you pull your work, okay? So over here, we have a ring of 5. As you can see, we have a ring of 5. We have a ring of 5 over here. So with my front fishing line, I'll go into the next 2 beads in front. Into the next 2 beads in front. 2 beads in front. Whilst on the back fishing line, I'll keep adding 2 beads so that we'll be having rings of 5, and we'll do this 5 more times, okay? So this is it. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. So we have 5 rings 6 times. We have arrived at the middle again. I'm going to go into the 3 beads in the middle, one at a time. So my front fishing line, I'm going into the next 1 bead in front. Okay. We are weaving rings of 4 in the middle. I'll add 2 beads, cross with the second bead and pull. I pull. We have a ring of 4. I'm going to go into the next 1 bead in front. Into the next 1 bead in front. Remember, in the middle we have 3 rings of 4. Okay, so I'm adding 2 beads and I'm crossing with the second bead. Okay, we have the second ring of 4. We are going to make the last ring of 4 into the last 1 bead there, or into the next 1 bead, and then I'll add 2 beads for us to complete the middle part. Okay, so I'm adding my 2 beads. I cross with the second bead and pull, and then we've completed the middle part of the bag. Right now we are going to repeat this first side on the other side. Okay, so we've completed the middle part of the bag. As you can see, we'll repeat this on this side as well. So I'm going to go into the next 2 beads in front. Into the next 2 beads in front. We are going to repeat our rings of 5 6 times. So I'll be adding my 2 beads on the back fishing line. Okay, right to the end, we'll be adding 2 beads. So I have a ring of 5, the first ring of 5 on this side. As you can see, I'm going to weave this 5 more times so that we'll have a total of 6, and I'll leave out the last 2. Okay, so I'm done. As you can see, we have 6 rings of 5 on both sides. and I'm done with the mat. So we are going to move on to the next stage, okay? So you always begin with a beaded mat and end with your simple beaded mat. So right now on the third line, we are going to start with our beads, with our simple beaded mat. You start with 3 beads. So the third line is the easiest line, okay? Because we are going to weave a simple beaded mat all through, okay? So I'm going to go into the next 1 bead in front, into the next 1 bead in front, and on the back fishing line, I'll add my 2 beads, and I'm going to cross with the second bead, okay? With the second bead. So I'm going to go into one bead all around, one bead, and I'll be adding two beads on the back fishing line, okay? Two beads on the back fishing line. I'll weave this off camera. So we are done with this step, and this is what we have: rings of 4, our simple beaded mat. Moving on to the next step, okay? I'm going into the first bead. You know, we begin with 3 beads. Okay, we begin with our simple beaded mat, which is 3 beads. I'm going to cross it over with the third bead and pull. I'm going to go into the next 1 bead in front, into the next 1 bead in front. I'll add my 2 beads, add 2 beads, cross with the second bead, 2 beads, cross with the second bead. As you can see, right now we are going to repeat the rings of 5. So I'm going to go into the next 2 beads, okay, in front, into the next 2 beads, 1 and 2. So I'm going into the next 2 beads. Whilst on the back fishing line, we'll keep adding two beads right to the end, okay? So I'm adding 2 beads. I'll cross with the second bead, and I'm going to weave it. I'll make the first ring of 5, as you can see. So I'm going to go into the next 2 beads in front, into the next 2 beads in front, 2. On the back fishing line, I'm going to add 3 beads, 2 beads. I'm going to add 2 beads. We are making rings of 5, okay? I'm sorry about that. Add 2 beads, cross. We have the second ring of 5. We are going to make the last ring of 5, okay, into the next 2 beads. Into the next 2 beads, that is 1 and 2. On the back fishing line, I'll add 2 beads, 2 beads, and then cross with the second bead. So we are done with this one side of it. 1, 2, 3. So we are going to weave the simple beaded mat in the middle 3 times. We maintain the middle, okay? You go into the next 1 bead. You add your 2 beads, okay? Add 2 beads, cross with the second bead. Into the next 1 bead. I'll add 2 beads on the back fishing line. 2 beads. Cross with the second bead. And then we are going into the third bead. The third 1 bead over here. And I'm going to add 2 beads on the back fishing line. 2 beads on the back fishing line. I'll cross with the second bead and pull. So when you're using the loop method, it makes your back firmer, okay? So we maintain the middle, and I'm going to continue the same thing on this side as well, and then end it with a simple beaded mat, okay? So I've weaved the same thing on this side, and then we have our 5 rings 3 times. As you can see, 3 on this side, 3 on this side as well. So we are almost done. Right now we are going to close this up with a simple beaded mat. So weave back and forth, back and forth. Okay, you start with 3 beads. We are just going to close this entire part with a simple beaded mat. So I cross and I pull. I'm going into the second bead. Okay, on the back fishing line, into the second bead. On the back fishing line, I'll add 2 beads. I'll cross with the second bead. I'm going to go into the third bead. So actually, you'll be weaving 3 times. Okay, into the third bead, I'll add 2 beads. I'll cross it with the second bead. I cross and I pull. So after weaving 3 times, I've done this 3 times. Okay, I've done this 3 times. We are going to go into the next 2 beads, okay, to close that gap, because we are weaving a simple beaded mat to cover up this part. All right, so I'm going into the next 2 beads. As you can see, our fishing line will be in 3 beads. So that we can close this gap over here to continue our mat. I'm going to pick up 1 bead and I'm going to close up this part. Okay, I'll cross and pull. So I'm going to go into the next 1 bead in front. With that same fishing line, I'll add 2 beads because we are weaving back and forth. I'll add 2 beads, cross with the second bead. Okay, and I'm going to weave in front, go behind, repeat the same thing and close this entire part with a simple beaded mat. Okay, I'll weave this off camera. This is it. We are done and we have our beautiful semicircle beaded bag. So here we have 15 lines. Okay, we have 15 lines. We are going to divide it by 3, so 5 on each side. So I'm going to insert my fishing line here. Okay, and I'm going to weave through 5 beads, a simple beaded mat. I'll weave through 5 beads 5 times upward. Okay, and I'll repeat same on the other side. You start with 3 beads, continue with 2 beads, weave through 5 beads, weave 5 times upward. Okay, so this is it. This is just a simple beaded mat. I didn't want to bore you with the weaving. I weave 5 times on this side. Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The same thing on this side, and we have 5 in the middle. Okay, so I've weaved 5 times upward. Okay, so 5 times upward, everything is 5. So we are going to connect the both sides together. We'll connect the both sides. Your fishing line must be here. Okay, your fishing line should be here so that we can connect the both sides together. So you pick up your 3 beads, 1 on the right, 1 on the left, and then you are going to cross with the 3rd bead. Okay, you are going to cross with the 3rd bead and pull. So I'm going to pick up 3 beads again, 1 on the right, 1 on the left, and then I'll cross with the 3rd bead and pull. So we have done this 2 times. I'm going to do it 1 more time, but this time around I'll fix 1 bead on the right, 1 on the left, and on the other side I'm going to cross them in the opposite direction. The left fishing line will go to the right direction and the right fishing line will go to the left direction. Okay, so that we can connect both sides. All right, so this is it. Connect and pull. At this point, this is what we have. At the mouth of the bag will be 13. If you count everything, it's 13 beads. Okay, We have 13 beads on the mouth of the bag. Right now, we are still going to weave our simple beaded mat, okay? So I've weaved in my fishing line. We are going to weave our simple beaded mat 2 more times, okay? 2 more times. So you insert your fishing line, you start to weave your mat again. Start with 3 beads, continue with two beads. Okay, I will do this 2 more times so that we can form our clutch. Okay, you cross and pull, and then I'll continue to weave that 2 more times. But before then, I started weaving and I said, let me show you this line that we connected, the 5th line that we just connected, okay, because I've been weaving once. So let's mark this line over here. I'm just going to tie a thread on that line that we connected, because we are going to be weaving on this same line. So I'm going to mark it. You can mark it with anything of your choice, okay? We are going to be working with this line again. So this is the first line I'm weaving. I'll weave 1 more time so that we'll have it 2 more times. Please make sure you mark this part, okay? So I have weaved 2 more times, and this is what we have. This is what your pattern should look like, and this is where we marked, okay? 2 times upward. So I'm going to get my fishing line, a new fishing line. This is where we marked. We are going to be weaving on this line, all right? So I'll get a new fishing line and insert it there, or insert it on that bead. And then I'm going to cut off the thread that I used to mark the bead, okay? So we'll be working on that straight line, all right? So my fishing line is on that bead. You weave a simple beaded mat starting with 3 beads. And then you cross with the 3rd bead. With the 3rd bead and pull. And pull it. And then into the next 1 bead in front. So please take note, we are weaving on that straight line where we marked straight line. I'm going to go into the next 1 bead in front. You weave on this straight line. I'll go into the next 1 bead in front. So we are going to be weaving on this straight line. I'm going into the next 1 bead in front. And on the back fishing line, you add your 2 beads. Cross with the 2nd bead. And pull. So this is what you have. Okay, so I'm just going to follow that straight line and weave it all across, okay? So I'll do this off camera. This is a simple beaded mat. So I've weaved across, as you can see. I weave it across. Sorry about this. So this is what you have, okay? Right now, we are going to fold this side upward. We'll fold it up. So you just count this 1 bead. You fold it right there on that 1 bead. So you fold it upward like this. Just fold. You fold. And then we are going to close the middle part of it, okay? So we have this middle part. We are going to close it up to form the clutch mouth, okay? So I have my leftover fishing line here. I'm just going to use it to close the mouth. So I'm adding my 1 bead to close. So I add 1 bead and cross it over and pull, okay? So I'm going to insert my fishing line. The right fishing line will go into the next 1 bead in front on the right side. The same as the left fishing line will go into the next 1 bead on the left side. Okay, so this is how we join our beaded bag. So if you can do this, then you can join a beaded bag, okay? So you pick up 1 bead and cross it over. You cross and pull. Please make sure your work is firm enough. You're just going to continue doing this. Right fishing line will go through the next 1 bead on the right side, the same as the left fishing line. We'll go into the next 1 bead on the left side. Sorry about that. And then I'll pick up 1 bead. I'll cross it over and pull. So I'm just going to do the rest of camera. using the same method to close this middle part, and then we'll be done with the pattern. Okay, so this is it. This is how it looks. Okay, so this is how beautiful it looks. So this is the outer part of the bag, while this is the inner part of the bag. As you can see, this side is smooth. So this is the inner part of the bag, okay, while this is the outer part of the bag where we form the clutch. We are going to form space inside our bag. You trace the actual semicircle where the demarcation begins, okay. You set your fishing line there to form space inside the bag. We are not going to weave it from the top. You trace the actual semicircle because the hole in the middle or the space in the middle is just a design. So trace the actual semicircle where the space begins, and then you start to weave around the bag, okay. To form space inside your bag, you start with 3 beads. It is still a simple beaded mat, okay. Cross with the 3rd bead. I'm going to go into the next 1 bead in front, into the next 1 bead in front. Whilst on the back fishing line, you keep adding your 2 beads, okay. Please make sure the smooth side is the inner part of the bag, okay, whilst the clutch is the outer part of the bag, okay. You want your bag to be smooth on the inside. I'll weave it all around twice, and this is what we have, okay. This is what we have. As you can see, it's beautiful. You make the other side of it, and then we are going to use the same method to join, okay. I know you can do that to join your bag, and this is what we have. You can see the opening, very beautiful. The bag is so lush, it's beautiful, spacious, so classy, okay. You may want to try this at home. Let me know in the comment section if you enjoy this tutorial. Please do not forget to like, share, and I need your comments always. Thank you for always stopping by. Thank you for always watching my video, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.